Hey guys, this is Prevailing Opinion, and I'm sitting here next to the foreign kid,
Hello.
and he is googling.
Don't tell him what I'm
I just did a
googling.
backflip and splits.
And the dictator did a backflip. Okay, so, well, it's been 4 months since my heart attack. That's for something new. We skipped the intro. It's sexy, but it's just, you know. I accidentally skipped the intro. I don't want to talk about it. In that whole time, I can probably count the times I've left the room unsupervised on one hand.
4 months is pretty long. It was a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts. So I had plenty of time to come up with terms in my situation.
Arrhythmia.
Arrhythmia?
Fuck you.
You illiterate fuck. It's arrhythmia.
A strange word, foreign, like you. Alien, like you, one that you don't want to live in the same room with. And by live, I mean be in. Shut up. I don't want to talk about it.
A rare condition. It causes the heart to act erratically, and occasionally beats way too fast. It can be fatal.
Apparently, I've had it for a long time. They said it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. I'm never doing that again.
Is that really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life on the year Gotham deserves.
It really didn't do any... Okay, I'm never doing that again. It really didn't do anything to cheer me up.
My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They had partially had 2 hemorrhages apiece. Particularly, if you be loud.
I had already a full day then to digest everything. I don't even understand what that meant. To them, it was all fresh. They were all willing to sell our house in order to pay for a cure, but...
Of course, there wasn't a cure.
They're supposed to be more epic, but, oh.
Wow.
Of course, there isn't a cure.
There isn't a cure.
Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatments.
When I was first admitted, I felt as if I was missed.
For about a week in my room, it was a ward full with flowers, balloons, and cards.
But the visitors soon dwindled, and all the get-well gifts began to trickle down to nothing shortly after.
I realized that the only reason I got many cards and flowers is because they were sending me their sympathy had turned into a class project. That's probably got to be the worst thing that could.
That
would
sucks.
suck. Yeah.
Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first month, only my parents came by on a regular basis.
Loner. I'm sorry, Hisai, you get bitches.
Yes, no.
Iwanako was the last to stop visiting. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyways.
We didn't even touch a subject that was between us on that snowy day ever again.
So she didn't have sex with you in the bed. That sucks. The hospital?
It's not really a place I'd like to live in.
The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless.
I guess it's because they are in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them.
Hold on.
But it makes me feel uncomfortable.
A million? Do you know how long... Do you know... The size of a million patients that would just not even... Okay, I'm sorry.
For the first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave.
He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but he told me to wait and see if the treatments and surgeries worked.
So I idly observed the scar that those surgeries had left on my chest slowly change its appearance over time, thinking of it as some of a kind of an omen.
I still ask the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough now that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answer shows that there's at least some hope.
At some point, I stopped watching TV. I don't know why, I just did.
Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism for my situation.
I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital, although it was more like a storm for books. I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more.
I found that I liked reading, and I think that I even became a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hands. That's just gross as so.
But I love the stories.
Love the stories, reading it for the plot.
Love
That was what my life was like.
Days became increasingly harder to distinguish from each other, differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. It felt like some time blurred into some kind of a gooey mess. I was trapped inside instead of moving within.
A week could go by without me really noticing it.
Sometimes I'd pause in realization that I didn't know what day of the week it was.
But other times, all things that surrounded me would have a painful crash into my consciousness. Through the barrier of nonchalance I set up for myself. Good
The
boy.
pages of my book would start to feel sharp, burning hot, and the heaviness in my chest would become so hard to bear that I had to put the book aside and just lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry.
But that happened only rarely.
And I couldn't even cry.
Today the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he's trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf.
The parents are here. It's been a few days since I've last seen them. Both of them are even short of dressed up. It is supposed to be some kind of a special occasion. It's not a party.
There is this ritual the head cardiologist has. He takes his time sorting his papers, then sets them aside as to make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did.
Then he casually sits down on the edge of the bed next to mine. He looks at me eyes for he looks me in the eyes for a moment.
Hello, Hisao, how are you today?
I didn't answer him, but I smile a little back at him.
I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with some precautions, you should be fine. We have all of your medications sorted out. I'll give your father the prescription.
The doctor hands a sheet of paper to my dad, whose expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly.
So many.
I take it from his hand and take a look for myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this?
The absurdly long list of medications staring back at me from the paper seems insurmountable, whatever that word is. They all blend together in a sea of letters.
This is insane.
You got gypped. Side effects, adverse effects, contradictions. The dosages are... Dosages. What the fuck? How did I fuck that up so bad? Dosages. Dosages?
You illiterate.
I fucked
shit.
That up. Okay. The dosages are listed line after line with cold precision.
I tried to read them, but it's so futile.
I can't understand any of it, attempting to only make me feel sicker.
All this for the rest of my life? Every day?
Well, I'm afraid that's the best we can do at this point. However, new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that list fade over the years.
Years? What kind of confidence booster is that? I'd have felt better if he hadn't said anything at all.
Also, I've spoken with your parents and we believe if it's best that you don't return to your old school.
What?
Please calm down, Hisao. Listen to what the doctor has to say.
Calm down? The way he tells me he knew full well that I wouldn't like it. Am I going to be homeschooled?
Whatever my concern shows, it's ignored. We understand that without your education is paramount. However, I don't think that is wise for you to be without supervision. At least not until we're sure that your medication is suitable. So I've spoken to your parents about a transfer. It's a school called you think I know this, Yamaku Academy, that specializes in dealing with disabled students.
Disabled? What? Am I high?
It has a 24-hour nursing staff. Oh god, nurse is awesome. Staff, and it only has a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. The majority of the students live on campus. Think of it as like a boarding school of sorts. It's designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby.
Independence? It's a school for disabled kids. Don't try to disguise that fact.
If it was really free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and you wouldn't have to make a hospital be nearby a selling point. Well, of course, that's only if you want to go, but your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and had a look a couple weeks back. I think you'd like it.
It looks like I really don't have a choice.
Compared to the other heart problems, people with your condition tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education.
I love this line. This isn't an opportunity. Don't call this an opportunity. Or call this a goddamn opportunity.
This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call this a goddamn opportunity. Whose was better?
Let them decide.
Okay, you decide. Well, you should be excited at the chance to go back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school, and, well, it's not the same one.
I think I was more angry while saying that.
Okay.
A special school? That's an insult. That is what I want to say. It's a step down.
It's not what you think. All of these students, they're very pretty active in their own sort of way. It's geared towards students that can get around and learn, but just need a little help in one way or another. Your father's right, and many of the graduates of the school have gone on to do amazing things. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. One of my colleagues in another hospital is a graduate.
I don't care. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. That's what a disability is.
I really hate that something so important was decided for me, but what I can't do about it, a normal life is out of the question now.
It's funny, I'd always thought my life was actually kind of boring, but now I miss it.
I wanted to protest. I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. I could easily yell out something about how I could go back to my school anyway, but no.
I didn't say anything. The fact is that I don't know. I don't know now. It's futile.
I look around the room feeling very tired of all of this. The hospital, doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that would make me feel any different.
There really isn't a choice. I know this, but the thought of going to a disabled school. What are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult.
But let me try.
Let me try. A clean slate isn't a bad thing.
That is all I can think of to get through this. At least I still have something, even if it's a special school. It's a fresh start, and my life isn't over. It would be a mistake just to resign myself to thinking that.
At the very least, I'll try to see what my life will look like.
Thanks. Wait, hold on. I can't stop the video yet. Ooh, look at Sal holding up a heart. Is he gonna eat his life expectancy? Act 1. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that you liked it. This was just my prevailing opinion, along here with the foreign kid. Thanks. We'll be doing this more later.
Bye. I love you.